Rob Finkelstein. Hope everyone's having a good evening, had a great day today. I'm the co-founder of Alumni Direct, and we started our online community as an affinity-based organization to reach out and help alumni, college alumni. And we wanted to create value. A lot of times we find that, going back to your universities, they might not have all the resources that you need. So we wanted to give all types of discounts. We want to create a safe networking environment that you can help each other with your businesses, where you can get value through our strategic partners and just learn a lot. And one thing that we started and we're really excited about is our Alumni Direct webinar series. And we had our first one last week, which was very successful. And I'm really excited about this one. Our topic tonight is building with vision and starting your own business from scratch. And I think it's an important topic now in this current environment of people that are looking to become an entrepreneur. And we're really excited to have Jonathan Foltz on with us tonight. Jonathan, how you doing?
What's going on, Rob? Happy to be here. Glad you got me invited.
Yeah, that's great. I love the hat. We talked about that earlier. So Jonathan, just kind of give you a brief background of his successful career. He's the co-founder and the visionary of Pitch Investors Live and also Digital Age Business. And he's been doing businesses for over 23 years. And his success really rings out over the last several years. Over the last 4 years, he's created over 4 multi-million-dollar businesses. One business actually created 7 figures within the first month. So I think when you start looking at people that have that knowledge base and you really want to listen to what they have. He's a free thinker, just really wants to help people out. And we're excited to have you on. What we've done, Jonathan, is we've kind of put together some questions, but let's kind of freeform it and just see where it goes. I want to ask you some that some of our members have asked me to ask. Also, everybody out there on Facebook Live, go ahead, and if you have questions at the end, we'll be more than glad to try to get to as many as we can.
Awesome.
All right, so let's start out with the first one. And I think right now we're obviously in an interesting time with this pandemic. And I think as people graduate from college, so college graduates or maybe have been out for the first year, if you want to be an entrepreneur, because maybe you can't get into the normal job field now, what kind of advice would you give to them, and would you start a business at this point?
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely have to say that we are in very interesting times right now. I remember I actually wrote an article about October for the pending collapse that's coming, right? So I didn't know it was actually going to be the epidemic itself, but we were basically due a correction. And one of the things I love studying history. And one of the things about history is that, every 9 to 10 years, we have basically these different corrections that happen with society. The United States more than anything, obviously. And I saw it coming. And one of the things that I wrote in this article, I have a Medium channel. And basically on there, I talked about how once this collapse happens, this correction, we don't know the extent of what it was going to be, it accelerated because of the pandemic, is that the world is going to change a lot. Okay, so I like to call myself a digital frontiersman. So the reason I like to call myself a digital frontiersman is because we are entering into a new era where everything is very digitized. So as you see what just happened right now, we were forced into a more digitized platform. Pitch Investors Live itself, basically, we took some concepts in the world that are very different, let's just say. They're very physically, like Shark Tank is something that people have to be in a physical manner. And then some pitching that people have to do. Usually you have to go and meet VCs like Tel Aviv, Los Angeles, San Francisco. We wanted to put it on an app because we knew what's happening. Everything's becoming very digitized. So one of the things that I would say for an entrepreneur or someone that wants to start a business, I mean, to be quite honest, I am more of a risk taker, so I will be biased on this, that's for sure. But I think literally right now, there is no better time than ever to start something because you're almost starting with a fresh canvas. And a lot of people right now are actually being forced to basically go out and do something fresh because they were working at physical locations. I was talking to a guy the other day that he was making $80,000 a day for it's like an axe throwing company. Now it's at $1,000, people purchasing basically for these physical location objectives. And that's a massive disruption in everything he's doing. So now he has to rethink everything that he's doing. So if you're doing something brand new, you know, you're ahead of the game because, you know, some people can't get out of the mentality that it's like, oh my God, you know, like everything just shifted. I lost my job or my business is going out of business. You know, like right now, to me, there is no better time. And you kind of almost have like an advantage over those that were like used to having something else. You know, even if you just have to moonlight. I talk about moonlighting a lot, just doing something on the side while you start building it until you build it strong enough, and then you could go out and do it on your own. You know?
That's great advice. Just in general, starting a business, I mean, maybe give some tips of how to do it. Like, how do you? I mean, again, I talked about you've had success in building these businesses over the years. What advice would you give to just in general to an entrepreneur of how to build a successful business?
I mean, one of the very first things that I think is like really important is doing something that you love. So one of the things that I see a lot, and I remember there's this guy that visited me. We had a place that we started. It was called the Marketer's Mansion in Arizona. So it was like me, Damien. If you guys see from Damien from Pitch, the Irish marketer, Lawrence Aponte, and a couple of other friends. We started an accelerator kind of in Scottsdale and Phoenix, Arizona. It was like basically a mansion on top of a mountain overlooking like the valley. It was freaking awesome. And it was very much about collaboration, but a lot of times people would come to visit us. It was kind of a place that anyone that comes from around the world, they would visit Phoenix, they would come to our place so we could just collaborate. We had over 1,000 people walk through our doors. And one of the things that I saw is that sometimes people were doing things just for money. And you know, like one guy, he was a football player, huge guy, like almost like he was like a dominant type of guy, and he had a yoga store. And I'm like, dude, why do you own a yoga store? Like it was an e-commerce store. And I'm like, why would you do that? And he was like, oh, someone told me that you can make a lot of money. And I'm like, dude, I was like, first and foremost, like you love sports. You and this guy, Brian, are talking about sports all day long. I'm like, why don't you start a sportswear store? If you're doing e-commerce, you know the language, you know everything that's in there. You're passionate about it. I'm like, do you go around telling people about your yoga store? He's like, no. I was like, if you had a sports store that basically you had commentary, you could do some Facebook Lives, do have commentary, and you're selling jerseys and all that, would you tell people? He's like, of course. And I'm like, there's your answer. I was like, you have to be passionate, first of all. Passion, I don't like using passion so much, but I do because people get the word wrong. Passion is more, it's also pain, right? So there is pleasure and pain in entrepreneurship, you know, but I like to use the word more inspired. So in a way, like if you're going to get into something first and foremost, before everything, like all the strategy stuff, like I'm not one of those guys that have all these crazy strategy stuff. I'm more like the philosophical concept of doing something that you're actually going to enjoy. Like it's not going to feel like work. And to me, that's the founding principle beyond anything else, is doing it that way and doing a lot of research and telling people, hey, this is what I'm doing, and let them defeat your idea. You know, like let them defeat the idea. Let them tell you what's wrong with it. And then if you're still loving it, you know, you gotta remember, people are gonna come at you. Like one of the things about me that adds fuel to everything I do is when people tell me I can't do something. And when they tell me I can't do something, it makes me really want to go do it more. So just don't take it personal when someone is like, okay, that's not the greatest idea. Oh, what about this? What about this? They're helping you solidify your idea. So like first and foremost, I think those two things are some of the most important factors before even contemplating and then maybe doing a business plan and seeing how you're going to move forward.
That Yeah, the whole idea you're right about being passionate. That was something that got us to start Alumni Direct. One thing that's been kind of really important in the fabric of what I do and really behind Alumni Direct is all about networking. And I constantly talk to people about networking, how to do it properly. And I've done a lot over the years in my different sales careers and doing this as well. Maybe give some tips of, I guess, maybe the proper way to network and some of the things that you do. You just talked about the collaboration. Tell us more about that and how you connect with people.
Oh man, this is one of the things that I absolutely love. You know, like I've been blessed, you know, with like Pitch Investors Live. One of the things that has helped us a lot is like a crazy solid network of venture capitalists and just like business people. And it's been done very digitally, but networking to me sometimes is like a shortcut to being able to expand yourself out into the world. So what you guys are doing at Alumni Direct is perfect because When we first started off in one of our companies, one of our main companies, the one that basically we got to the $1 million a month extremely quickly. That industry itself, we had mentors and everything like that. But one of the things that helped us out a lot is like, there was like Facebook groups that we got ourselves into. We would go to events and everything like that. Then we started joining, obviously, like masterminds. What you guys are doing right there is kind of like a prolonged mastermind period. And to me, it's like you need to find people that are heading in a similar direction. And if you're finding those people in your circles, one of the biggest things I tell people too. So some of my mentors are heavy hitters, like Kevin Harrington, the original shark from Shark Tank. He's been one of my mentors. Reese Jones, that's also one of the advisors to our companies, like had a invention, billion people using it, and the list goes on and on. And one of the things that's really important when you're trying to reach out to someone of a high altitude, someone that's making big moves, you have to remember their time is precious. Okay, so if you are not aware of how precious someone's time is, and you're not willing to give value of some sort, why are they going to have a conversation with you? Okay, you got to ask yourself that. Why are they going to have a conversation with you? You have to provide some type of value. Like sometimes, yes, friendships can conspire to make themselves happen and true and everything like that. But the reality is, it's like, how can you give value to that person in one shape, form, or other? How can you help them do something? How can you, like sometimes when we have like interviews that we've done with very high level people, like our mastermind that we had last year was jam packed with, so the speakers were great. We had Grant Cardone there, right? Reese Jones was there. Bert Ullman, the guy that helped Damon John's business and everything. Like if you saw our all-star lineup, it's like, how did you guys even do that? First and foremost, we were giving them value, right? I mean, obviously it helped. Once we got Grant Cardone, to be honest, that helped us open the door for a lot more people. But when we approach them, like for example, if you want to get someone to interview or something like that, you got to show them the value of having that conversation with you. And that goes for any conversation, any type of person that you're around anyways. Like you want to give them value. And that is the type of equal exchange that you're able to give them for their time. For regular people, it works really well too, where you just give value. So I love to just connect people, right? So like I like to connect people, and then sometimes for nothing, I don't want anything back, but literally there's like the universe conspires to support you. And then if you give to people, you're just helping them out with whatever it is. Guess what? It's almost like something that is just waiting and marinating, that sometimes they'll think of something that happens, or they'll meet someone and they'll think of you. And whatever it is that you're doing, they'll connect you, or they'll be like, you know what, there's a great opportunity for this person, just because you had helped them in the past. So I'm big on helping and supporting people, even if I don't think I'm going to get anything in return. And then soon, they'll come back and opportunities just start to present themselves. And I think that's like a key component to like networking, wanting to help them without wanting anything from them. Because if you go automatically like, I want from you, that's like, wait a second, what does this guy want from me? Like, okay, let me back up.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to start a networking class together. It's all about good karma, right? You hit it. I think if you help other people and not expect anything back, I think that they'll definitely do that. And I kind of live by that mantra. It's kind of a fun game for me to network too. I try to make it always not 6 degrees of separation, but let's make it like 1 or 2 degrees of separation, right? So you've had a lot of success with Pitch Investors Live, and I want you to share more talk about the platform and maybe how it works. And then as a follow-up to that, maybe you can share one of the success stories. It's kind of in layman's terms, everybody, it's kind of like a Shark Tank. And you mentioned Kevin Harrington, but tell us all about it, Jonathan.
Yeah, I mean, so one of the easy ways to put it for someone to kind of grasp it really quickly, it kind of has to do with what you just said right now. So like sometimes when I want to explain it, I just say this. So like, first of all, we were in Forbes and they called us Shark Tank 2.0. Forbes magazine was able to do a little skit on us, Inc. magazine, Entrepreneur magazine. They liked what we were doing because a lot of people had the idea of having Shark Tank on an app. But what we did is we took some of the greatest technologies and entertainment factors and put them jam-packed into an actual app and platform. So you can see it as Shark Tank meets Kickstarter or Indiegogo meets online dating, all via live streaming. And when we first started off, basically we were an app that just connected investors and entrepreneurs, someone that's looking to raise capital, someone that wants advisory for their company, someone that wants, support, because sometimes you don't need only money. To me, the thing that people need the most is sometimes just the mentorship, okay, the advisory, the ideas, maybe they need marketing or something like that. So as time went on, what we started doing is we started building a 2.0 version of our app, which literally just launched last month. So we call it Pitch 2.0. And we added some really cool stuff. There's a discovery wall where you can see more about what's going on. There's some education inside there. And then we added something super amazing, going back to your question about network and everything like that. We added something called the collaboration wall. So we thought that was very vital because, just like Facebook, you have so many different friends in there. There might be some Facebook groups, but imagine a group that you could go inside, kind of like a Facebook, a little bit like a Facebook wall, where you can have conversations with entrepreneurs, current business owners, people that want to be business owners, investors and such, because people don't get it. Sometimes you have an idea that someone else believes in and they'll want to put money up for you, like you never know. Like I've seen it happen, people with ideas on a napkin. Okay. Literally, I've seen it. I invested basically into a company. I think it was the beginning of last year there was no business plan or anything. I just liked the idea a lot. I invested myself, no business plan or anything. So you don't have to have the most meticulous business plan in the world. Obviously that's going to help in the pitch deck. But with that being said, what we have done is we've grabbed all these entrepreneurs and startups, we're helping educate them as much as possible so that they actually can get funding. They could get funding and then everything else going along with this. So, for a couple success stories, we've had a bunch of them, a lot of stuff that came up. We thought that a lot of the deals that were going to happen were going to be directly from the investor and the entrepreneur or the startup. And believe it or not, because we also put this out there on the app, it goes on YouTube and it goes on Facebook. Most of the deals that are happening actually are happening from the crowd, which is the really cool thing about it because people are watching it. So the deals are coming from the crowd. There was a guy named Efren, and I think this was in 2018, if I'm not mistaken. And in 2018, he was able to secure. So he actually pitched Kevin. Kevin didn't invest. Just like you were able to, Rob, you were able to pitch Kevin, which is super amazing and everything like that. So Kevin actually didn't bite on this deal. Someone saw his pitch. Okay, so I don't know if he was posting it somewhere, if they saw it on our platform, they saw his pitch, they reached out to him on LinkedIn. It was called Gemini Cyber Securities, I think it was, before this event happened. And they reached out to him. Two guys joined his team as partners and they fully invested in his business. Okay, then about 10 months, give or take, later, he was acquired. Okay, so literally, from basically working a lot of the stuff on his own, and I don't know if he had like some programmers and no partners, to having partners, to being fully funded, to completely acquired. I was like, wow, when he told me, I was like, hey, what's going on with the project? He's like, oh, dude, I was acquired. I was like, what? I'm like, that wasn't even that long ago. So that's one of the stories. There was a lady, I met her again at the 10X conference. So she was able to acquire, I think it was Jim Parr. And her name of her business was actually called Boobalicious. It was actually deodorant for underneath, like right there. And, as a crazy outlandish idea, it was selling. She got on Amazon and she's selling. And basically she got a deal from Jim Parr. And then now they're basically expanding the whole entire operation. So, you never know when you come on our platform that you can have, and for her, that deal actually wasn't even money. It was basically bringing on a partner / mentor, and he's helped her build out the whole digital part of her business itself. So sometimes it's not money that you need. It's having that partner that has the things that you lack.
Gotcha. Okay. Another thought I had too was, you mentioned it briefly before, but marketing. Obviously, marketing is key today in getting, reaching out to society. What kinds of ideas can you share, just as a startup company, and then maybe going a little along, how people should market effectively?
Well, I love marketing first and foremost. I absolutely love it. Like our company, Digital Age Business, we are basically a marketing, advertising, creative agency. Before all this happened, we've helped out like over 500 companies, work with politicians. And I love branding and I love marketing. Like to me, it's like, if you can have that appeal front end, you have a good product, you're in business, but you can have the best product in the world and nothing is going to happen, right? So even if you don't have the best product, you can do good marketing, you're going to outdo the company with a way better product, straight. That's the reality. That happens all the time. And the biggest thing for me is starting off with the vision of what it is that you want to create, having like a strong name, let's say / motto that you can now take on forth and show it on all the different avenues and streams of what it is that you're doing. I personally, I am a huge fanatic of Facebook in general. I think that there's so much opportunity on there. It's not even funny still to this day. You know, people are still going on there. I mean, actually right now there's even more because CPMs have gone down. So basically for the amount of money that you spend per 1,000 views or whatever has gone down dramatically. Shopify itself has shown numbers that are consistently daily above Black Friday and Cyber Monday because what is happening. So if you have a business right now, you could create like a little mini video, some cool little banners, and you run some traffic to it. Like if you try to do it organically, to be honest, it's harder. It's harder. You know, like you have to go a little bit harder. Like for me, doing IGTV, Facebook Lives, and then adding potentially ad spend into it. You don't have to do a lot. It could be like $5 a day, $2 a day, you know, $20 a day. Like it doesn't have to be anything considerable, but you do pay, they're called PPE, post-page engagements or video views for a video or something like that. And then you can hit certain demographics and then you're grabbing that data. So marketing these days is about data. So if you have the data on like who's clicking into your site, who's clicking into your ads, who's engaging, there's all stuff that could be done on Facebook. You can literally pull data to know exactly what you need to do in the physical landscape that these companies are still spending billions of dollars. Like literally, they don't get any of that data. They get guesstimates. They have a billboard. They have a guesstimate with how many people can actually look at it. On Facebook, you know exactly how many people saw it. You know how many people clicked on it, how many people engaged on it, how many people clicked into the website. You know every metric possible. And to me, like having a good image mixed together with data, you're going to have a proof of concept. And that's why we're able to grow like our e-commerce businesses so quickly, because we have the data to be able to know where we're going to put our marketing budget.
So Facebook, and let my marketing people know as we continue to try to grow this. Kind of want to put it out to everybody out there. If there are any questions that people might have to ask Jonathan, we kind of open it up right now for you to ask us.
Yeah, cool. And one thing I'll add too is Google. Google's another great outlet also. Like you're getting a lot of cheap traffic. It's not just Facebook itself, but Google, if you have someone that could potentially help with that and you have like something good that catches people's attention very shortly, you can run traffic on Google too. That's another one that helps out a lot these days.
Okay, good deal. If we looking at let's talk a little more about Pitch Investors Live, and one thing that we've done here at Alumni Direct, and working with you too, and creating these valuable partnerships for the people out there. What type of programs do you offer? I mean, do you have things? I know we're talking about some different reaching out to our alumni members and just people that we go out to further. Tell us a little more about some of the programs that you have.
Yeah, I mean, so we do have a variety of different programs and packages and everything like that to teach people a little bit about, how you're able to raise money, exponentially growing your business, kind of how to pitch. Okay, so like, let me talk about something really quickly that is important. I'm going to give like a little nugget here that I think is so important. So as you see, I'm wearing a hat called Pitch. Okay, so that's short for Pitch Investors Live. And people forget, I meet so many entrepreneurs that are like, I don't need to have a pitch deck. I don't need to have a pitch. And I think to myself, how crazy that really sounds when you're in the business world, and even when you're not, because pitching is part of your life. Okay. And what does that mean? It's part of your life. You are pitching every single day. So pretend you're trying to go to the movies with your wife. You're actually pitching to potentially watch a certain movie. Let's say that you're trying to take the kids to go do something. You're pitching the kids to let's say close the door or clean up their room. You're literally pitching them. So imagine that if you're a business owner, okay, for one quick second, you're a business owner and you want to inspire others into your mission to get them to come on board for you, you must pitch them. Let's say that you have friends that want to hear about your idea. You're kind of pitching them. Okay. And then if you have clients and you have to do sales, which you all have to do, especially if you're a business owner, like people got to take it out of their head that sales is bad and pitching is bad. Like, no, you just have to have something that is of value. And if you pitch it correctly, that's going to equal cash. That's going to help you run a business and help people, support people. And actually, possibly some of these business ideas are supporting people out in the world. You have to give some type of benefit to people so that they can, some type of value that they can get. At the end of the day, that's the way the business works. So I would say that one thing that we're actually going to do for Alumni Direct, and let me see if I could pull this here, but we usually have a $97 a month package that we sell for people to be able to get into our ecosystem. They get training videos on how to pitch, which is like, I'm telling you guys the value of it. It is not even funny how important it is. And usually there's a monthly cost of $97. And what we're going to do actually just for Alumni Direct is going to be $1. It is a monthly cost and everything like that. If you guys don't like it, literally, you guys can go ahead and cancel at any time. We guarantee everything that we do, but the amount of value that we're adding into this $97 package is amazing. So basically you get a back-end library that teaches you on how to pitch, how to do a pitch deck, how to do a one-page business plan. There's a worksheet inside of it. There's a 10-step video by Kevin Harrington on the perfect pitch. Okay, so remember guys, this has nothing to do with, hey, I'm raising money. No, pitching is everyday type of thing. Like if you want to start a business, you got to know how to pitch. I'll tell you, one of my expertise is pitching. Okay, so like I know how to pitch so well that I can get almost anything that I want. But the important thing is you do have to have something of value. Don't pitch something that doesn't have value. Okay, you can't be just a great pitcher if you have a great value item, a business, a service, whatever it is, and you pitch it correctly. Guess what? You're going to be able to take your business to the next level. Be able to provide for yourself, your families, and everything like that. So that's something that we're going to offer up. So what we did is, I think this is brand new. We're doing this for like the first time ever here. So let me see where this link is. So what we're going to do is going to have people, anyone that wants to have this, it's going to be literally $1. Okay. So $1 here. And it's going to be you're going to text alumni to this number right here. So if you guys are in the United States, basically the number is 95473-pitch. Okay. So $1. One thing that I would love, okay, first of all, our app is free. Okay, so just first and foremost, I'm going to tell you guys right now, our app is free, pitchinvestorslive.com. We're on iOS, and then we're also on Android and PWA. So if you do want to be able to find it, you can go in the iOS store, no problem. Or if you want to do it on your desktop, it's like pitchinvestorsnow.com/download. So it's absolutely free, but this is only, by the way, guys, this is only for the next 24 hours that we're doing this deal because of Rob. I'm inviting us here and everything for $1. You'll be able to get into our ecosystem. Go ahead and download all this stuff. If you just want to cancel after that, it's going to be $1. You want to cancel right after, you can download all the videos and all the stuff that we have. But we also have a collaboration wall where we want people to go ahead and collaborate inside. And it's super amazing because you're going to be able to speak to entrepreneurs, very successful entrepreneurs, people that know business so well. These are people that they will not have conversations out on Facebook groups or anything like that. Me, myself, I stopped doing advisory for a while, and I will literally, especially right now in the beginning stages, I will connect with you guys, give you insight, give you information and everything like that inside of it, just because it's brand new. We just launched this thing once you go inside the app. But if you guys go ahead and again, the number is 95473-pitch. So if you text that number alumni, we're going to go ahead and send you a link so you guys can get entered into this. And because of Rob and everything like that, like he's been wanting to partner with us and, like we see what he's doing. Like, honestly, I read up more on what you're doing here. And I think it's amazing because, I myself, I hold masterminds and I love these groups because I remember how important it is, not just for the networking, but being around people with a similar type of mindset, how powerful it is. So it's like, what can we do with you guys, Alumni Direct and Pitch Investors Live to help you guys get more success? Because it's basically a group effort. You can't do it on your own. You need other people that have been around the block. And what can I do to support you guys? We work together as a group to basically have massive success, because it's a lot more fun when you go with other people than you go alone.
No doubt. And I really appreciate that offer, and hopefully people will take you up on it. I know we will. We do have a couple quick questions that came over. One is, what is the most effective form of networking?
The most effective form of networking. Okay, so one of the things that I'm a really big fan of is mastermind events. Okay, so like we just added a phenomenal player to our team. This is our other business, Digital Age Business, and he was kind of like I'm not going to call him a guru. People consider him a guru, but he was one of the guys in the e-commerce space that was just phenomenal, like the guy that you wanted to be like. He was helping companies scale like crazy. So he would hold these conferences. Basically, it was called Pixel Mastery. And it was about Facebook ads, marketing, Shopify, e-commerce, internet marketing. A lot of people that went to that event today are super successful. Like, it's crazy. It's kind of like scary to see like the amount of people that had such success that went there. And I actually attended a mastermind for copywriting in Las Vegas. And I met him there, and I'm like, hey, what's up? We stayed in contact, nothing big. Fast forward to right now, he's on our team. Okay, so like how did that happen? You know what I mean? So for me, I'm a huge fan of smaller based events, and being part of different groups where you can basically network and mastermind. But here's the component. I know right now there's not a lot of physical stuff. You're able to get on, whether it's a physical location and a mastermind itself, or a little smaller networking group, whether it's physical or it's on a Zoom call or something like that. To me, that's huge, because sometimes there's that synergy. Like my business partner, Matthew Lally, the way I met him was actually at a startup conference, and we actually started off just as friends. Like, we just had similar philosophical views. We're both very futuristic. And in due time, we literally he told me about his idea. I actually invited him to the marketer's mansion, because I was like, hey, he had a big exit, 8-figure exit. And we wanted to know, like, how do you do it? What's he doing in the tech space? We were just curious. Honestly, we didn't say, hey, we want to partner with you. It was more like curiosity. It's like, we wanted knowledge. We wanted to know how the hell he did it. We invited him over, giving them value also, like, hey, come stay at this awesome place that we're at, we'll go have some fun, and et cetera, et cetera. And, let's trade off some value back and forth. And fast forward to today, we started Pitch Investors Live, together. That was just a guy that I met, that we were just friends at the end. And that was, it took us years, right? Like 3 years before we even did business together. We just knew each other. We didn't talk in between that much either. And fast forward, we ended up doing business. So I think like not being shy to go out there and network, like putting yourself out there, like one of the biggest things is like also get out of your comfort zone. You know what I mean? Like the year that it was when I was 33 years old, I told myself that I need to get out of my comfort zone, and I'm going to do whatever it takes. That was literally my most explosive year. Like, I'm talking about explosive. I was like, any event that comes up, I'm going. If they tell me to fly out somewhere to speak, I'm going. I didn't even care like what it is. I'm just going. And then that's when I actually went out to Phoenix, and I was like, anything that comes up, I'm just going to do. And literally, I felt like the universe was just on my side, and just everything was going right. Like, I flowed with whatever was happening. And man, it was just like, and intentional, right? So you still have to have the proper intention. And when you're meeting these people in the networking, like, don't think of like what they can do for you. It's more like, who would you like to enter into almost a friendship or something like that. Like, enter into a friendship, someone that's cool, you have some fun with, that you can exchange value back and forth, because if you're always like, okay, what can I get out of this person? Oh no, I can't get anything. What I can get out of this person? It's, you do like that, and it's a very short run game. You'll burn yourself out.
That's great. Another question here is, given that YouTube is searched as much as Google, how much do you do on YouTube, and any suggestions?
And how much do we do, like, marketing wise? Is that the question? Like marketing, or do I do research?
I think probably marketing and just putting yourself out on YouTube. Maybe it's, putting different videos and all that, obviously.
I mean, you'll find some stuff of me, myself, and my companies on YouTube. I haven't mastered it yet, but I've been wanting to get more into it. So it depends on the type of business. Okay. So every platform, and this is a very important lesson right here. So every platform out there has a different type of demographic, different type of attention span, and a different technique that needs to go into it. You can't take, one of the things that I've learned is, like, you cannot take the same piece of content and put it on Instagram, put it on Facebook, put it on Twitter, put it on YouTube, put it on Google. It doesn't work like that. They have a certain genre of people that watch it. And then, so you have to kind of know what each one of these is. So one of the things about YouTube, they love like do-it-yourself stuff. So do-it-yourself, unboxing videos, explainer videos, like kind of like interview type stuff. They like that too. So you kind of have to get very keen on what to do on YouTube. But I think YouTube is also very explosive. So if you guys know the whole lesson with you like them or not, you could hate them, you could love them, but Tai Lopez blew up because of YouTube. And one of the things that was his strategy is that he had all these videos that he was pushing, and you don't pay a certain amount of money if people just skip the ad. So if you guys remember, it was just like Tai Lopez was everywhere, you know what I mean? And because people are just skipping his ads, and he was just running a crazy amount of ads. And that's how literally he blew up to be the Tai Lopez that we know today, was literally through YouTube. So if you have a good message that you could give out to people and you stay on there, I think YouTube could be very powerful, you know, like 100%, you know? Yeah.
Here's a good one, because you seem like a very positive guy. How do you deal with adversity?
I love this question right here. So I've had a lot of adversity. So like now you can see like, you know, that we've had a lot of different success, you know, businesses doing well and bad, obviously. But I've had a lot of adversity. And one of the things that I tend to now kind of love it is challenge and adversity, because, you know, as Conor McGregor would say, and there's other, you know, different, I love looking at sports stars, you know, like the tenacity and the relentlessness and everything like that. And adversity and, let's say, challenges, and when things pop up that aren't going right, like I almost want them to happen, because I now have something that helps me thrive. Like when I see a challenge that comes up or big time adversity, I know that it's taking me in the right direction. You almost have to like trust that the universe, God, whatever you want to call it, is sending you in the proper direction. And if I look back in my time, guys, I had over 23 companies, okay, literally. So you know what that means? A lot of them failed. That's what that means. So a lot of them failed. And what I realized is that, you know, like me and my business partner, Umair, that we built Digital Age Business, we had like 11 companies together. And one of the biggest lessons that we got with one of our mentors, when we were doing bad, okay, so this was a time like our clients were just like, this one we had the agency side, and our clients were just so demanding. We were not inspired at all. And we did a consult call with one of our mentors. And one of the things that she brought into perspective that was so beautiful, literally, like me and Umair, like this blew our minds when we just changed our perspective on what was happening. And she's like, did you guys ever think for 1 second that Digital Age Business was just training for what you're meant to do? You know, and like, we're both like, it blew our minds, because we're just like, you know what, you're right. Like, you know, all these clients working with so many businesses, like and we thought about it, and it's like, man, you're right. Like, this was like preparing us, was the training for the next level, which then we got into the e-commerce space and it took off, right? You know, we launched Pitch, a whole bunch of different companies and such. And we didn't realize that like all that challenge and adversity is getting you guys ready for success. Like you almost have to like praise the challenge and the lessons, because all it's doing is preparing you. Ray Kroc wasn't successful until his 50s. I don't know if he's 54 years old. He was selling ice cream and milk machines, you know, milkshake machines, going door to door. Okay. And everyone made fun of him, literally made fun of him his whole entire life. Okay. Until he was able to get in with the McDonald's brothers, and all that adversity and all those challenges, and him literally switching business to business to business gave him such a good sphere of awareness and so much knowledge. And the thing is that he stayed clear on his mission and what he wanted to do. And today we have McDonald's, like a guy in his 50s created one of the most recognized companies in the world. But most people, they would have quit. They would have quit and they would have got a regular job. He didn't. He stayed tenacity just to be able to make it happen. So like, you have to be very clear in your direction. That goes back to what I said before. You got to love what you're doing, because if you're not, challenges are going to arise and you're just going to quit. You're going to want to either, you know, run away or stop in your feet. So you got to love what you're doing too. So.
That's great. So, you know, we really appreciate all this time. Any other thoughts you want to add?
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing right now, okay, so all you guys, you know, you may have jobs, you may be starting a business, you may already have a business right now. And the message that I like to give out is like, we can teach strategies, we can tell you how to do things, but it's like, you know, at the end of the day, like, why are you doing what you're doing? Like what's the reason behind it? You know, so Aristotle had something called teleology. It was based on the telos. So telos is basically the end in mind, or purpose, if you want to call it. And the biggest thing that he found out, and he wrote a lot about this, is that, once we're very clear on what it is that we're here to do, and usually it's to serve humanity, or to serve people, or to help people, support them in one way or fashion, and you're going to help make people's lives easier, shorter, you're going to do some type of support, like, you are going to be able to get through anything. Okay, anything, like the challenges that come up, nothing. So you have to think in that perspective when you're starting a business, or you're going to go forth. Why is it that you're doing it? Are you only doing it for money, or are you doing it because you believe that you can support, people out there in the world in one shape or form, and that inspires you? And if you're inspired by it, you have a purpose of where it is that you're headed, and you're very clear in that direction, nothing will stop you from getting there. It may not look the way that you think it's going to go, and that's okay, because that's always how it goes. So that's my last message right there, man.
That's great. I mean, again, I really appreciate all the time. We're doing these webinars probably every 2 weeks. We'll have another one coming up, trying to just, like I said, to create excitement, inspire people, educational. The next one we're going to be doing is related to HR and interviewing software, which I think will be really appropriate for the current times that we're dealing with. A lot of people, unfortunately, that have been furloughed or out of work, and hopefully that next person will be able to help guide them. So, we thank everybody for joining tonight. If you're not a current member of Alumni Direct and you'd like to be, we'd sure like to have you. If you go out to myalumnidirect.com. And we're really just trying to create value. It's important. A lot of people that have gone out and put in their time for their education, and we want you to get the value back. And that's what we're all about at Alumni Direct. So also, please follow us on our Facebook page, Alumni Direct Facebook page. And this is exciting. So Jonathan, thank you so much again. Look forward to talking to you. Look forward to building our partnership together.
Yeah, no, love it, Rob. Appreciate you having me on, and love what you guys are doing. So looking forward to seeing how we can expand together.
Great. Sounds good. Thanks. You have a great night. Appreciate it.